Welcome back. In this video, we're going to work on duplicating the background like we talked about in the previous video. Now, as we mentioned, we're going to be drawing this background twice. We're going to have an X value for the leftmost texture, and the rightmost texture can simply have the same X value plus the width of the background. So really, we only need a single background X value that we're scrolling to the left. Now, as we're scrolling to the left, and we finally get to where the rightmost texture reaches the left edge of the window, the easiest thing we can do is simply set that background X value back to 0. Now the leftmost texture is pushed all the way to 0, 0, and the rightmost texture just retains its value of that background X plus the width of the texture. Let's see how this works in C++. So here's our background X value, BGX. Now we're calling drawTextureX to draw the background using our vector2, which we called BGPause. Now we're going to draw this texture twice, so I'm going to change the name of BGPause to BG1Pause. And that way, we can create another vector2, and we can call this second one BG2Pause. And this one, we can initialize with BGX plus the width of the background texture. Background.width, but remember, we're drawing the texture scaled by 2. So we really need background.width times 2. Now, just like BG1Pause, the y for this vector is going to be 0.0. Now, our call to draw texture X used BGPause for that position vector, but now it's called BG1Pause, so we need to pass in BG1Pause instead. And to draw the second texture, we need to call drawTextureX a second time. So we're going to say drawTextureX, passing in background for the texture 2D, and for the position, BG2Pause. We're still going to use 0.0 for the rotation, and 2.0 for the scale, and white for the color tint. Now this texture should scroll to the left just like the first texture we're drawing, only it's going to be shifted to the right by the width of the background. Let's hit run and start debugging and see how this looks. So we're seeing the first texture, and the second texture is scrolling by to the right of it. Now eventually we're going to reach the end of that second texture, which means we're going to have to reset this BGX back to 0. So as soon as we update BGX, we need to check to see if BGX is less than or equal to negative background.width times 2. Now, as soon as it reaches this value, we need to reset it to a value of 0. So we're going to say BGX equals 0.0. So in summary, we drew the background texture twice and scrolled it to the left, resetting its X value as soon as it reached the background's width times 2. We still need to draw the midground and the foreground textures, and you'll be challenged to do that in the next video. I'll see you soon.